June last year, using the council's new rules, we were able to see developable capacity of 83,000 houses out of 240 to 280,000. If council makes the decision today to reject the spatial changes, you will be back to that situation of offering this community a third of the lower part of your goal range of 240 to 280,000.
With respect.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Look, you're Richard. Yeah. I feel like David Kirkpatrick. Look, this is not a debate or a discussion. We're getting views from different members of the community, so let's just let them finish. Now, David, you're just finishing?
Yep.
Good man.
Our experts team are in broad agreement that we currently have a deficit of northwards of 50,000 houses currently. Each year that climbs by the extent that we miss our 13,000 annual target, and let's say that's running at around about 4,500 to 5,000 shortfall each year, to which we need to add permanent migration. So whatever way we look at it, we are dealing with a crisis right this very moment. There is only one way that house prices will go when there is a shortage of that magnitude. I'll finish up right now, Your Honour.
Thank you.
I want to conclude by saying, yes, I know that some of you are coming under a lot of heat from parts of your electorate. You can bend to that heat, but the issue will not go away. The population growth will continue. The housing deficit will balloon further. Unaffordability will top the world's league table as it does now. The problem you will have to deal with doesn't go away if you make a decision to rescind.
Thank you, David. Julie, just one statement, please.
Oh, I'll be as brief as I can, but I just want to say that the council have had a Herculean task, having to merge 7 disparate district plans into one and condense 99 residential zones into 6 in 4 years. The council, I think, council officers, I'd just like to say, contrary to some of the opinion today, have done an extremely good job at putting that information out on their website. I have really appreciated it. But we have a vision for Auckland, the Auckland Plan, and the council committed to a good quality built environment, be it urban or suburban. In the PAUP, 60% of the city remains zoned single house, less than 6% of the area is zoned for terrace housing and apartments, and apartment blocks are only in town centres or metropolitan areas. The lack of implied intensification is so low, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. But a proposed unitary plan process has been put in place of interaction between council and the people, of proposals and submissions that lead to the independent hearings panel. Independent hearings implies listening, and panel, people selected for their expertise and intelligence. If the unitary plan process collapses into disarray and the Auckland Council is seen to not be addressing the housing crisis, there is a very real danger the national government will step in. And this has happened where Jerry Brownlee now runs the show in Christchurch. If Auckland is run by Minister Nick Smith, there will be no negotiating about character in leafy suburbs. Just look at what the government has done to our tree protection already in the name of easing development. The process has to be allowed to proceed and plans allowed to evolve over time.
Yep.
I think I...
Yep, I know.
City building.
Julie,
excuse me, I'd like to finish what I'm saying. Growth is good problem for a council and a city to have, but it has to be managed and planned right. The citizens have to be involved as they have in the past. The pressure of time and the scale of the issues have led us to where we are today, at loggerheads on a sea of confusion and misinformation about what's proposed and what might happen. A year ago, we were together in this room, you might remember, at war over the port's proposed expansion into the Waitemata Harbour. The council showed leadership and instigated the port's future study, bringing together a wide cross-section of the community, shipping, business, iwi and environmental groups. I am a member of the Port's Future Study Consensus Working Group. I'm happy to report that within that disparate lot we have established unity and commitment to working out a way forward. We have all listened to each other. There have been much discussions, as you can imagine, and out of that has come a process that we hope will deliver a result that will enable Auckland and its economy to grow and for Auckland to be a great city for everyone. I'd like to think, Mr Mayor, that all the councillors in this room could again show leadership and come together to find a way through this current state of division. Keep the so-called out-of-scope evidence on the table so the council is not shut out of the process, but find a way to bring in those concerns from citizens so that the process is not derailed but gets better. Thank you for your time.
Good on you, Julie.
Okay, right, Julie and David, thank you very much for your submissions. And now, do we have questions? A couple of questions, please. Councillor Linda.
I just, you said at the beginning around natural justice, what's your view of when people say there's no, or how we're dealing with natural justice, given the Unitary Plan Committee, the Independent Hearings Panel has the legal tools to be the decider of that, but what's your view around the issues of natural justice that are being raised today?
I think I think the problem will never go away if the citizens don't feel as though they've had their say, and I think what needs to be instigated in this matter is some sort of circuit breaker or something that I think the council has to show initiative and implement that allows us to come together and talk and discuss the problem, people's fears about height or what's going to happen to their community. As architects, we get very frustrated. People sort of talk about 3 stories as though as if it's all going to go to hell, you know. But some of the most fabulous, I think we can create viable, lovely, interesting communities of different types for all people, but people need to have a say what they want to have in those communities.
Yep, Councillor George.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Dowd, you heard Dr. Palmer. We didn't actually admit it. He's mentioned that this is a matter that should be dealt with by the governing body of Auckland Council and not a truncated 8-person subcommittee or committee, which is what happened. Do you agree that Dr. Palmer that this should have come to a full committee of this council, 20 councillors plus the mayor, and that probably paramount body is the governing body, to be adjudicated on before a final decision was made?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm not that big on the whole process. Would you like to talk to that, David?
Well, I just don't think that's a question for us, Councillor Wood. It's a procedural.
You were saying before that you think that this trumps the getting the houses on the ground, trumps going through the proper process.
Well,
which I was very surprised that you said that.
Yes.
And I just...
So, Councillor Wood, what I was referring to is I think there's a lot of mixed messages about what is out of scope and what isn't. I think Penny Pirrett presented a picture that we all need to take a deep breath on and listen to, because I think there's a lot less out of scopeness than has been bandied around. But my point was a simple one, that we have got to recognise that there's a real crisis in housing supply, and that trumps some problems with process. It has to.
Are you saying... No, I just want to follow up on that. Are you saying that in your mind, the process, do away with the process, just build the houses? No, I'm just asking the question. It's an important question, Mr. Mayor, and it's the fundamental question that we're here today about.
Hang on.
I'd like, can I just...
Just order. Councillor George, you be careful. You'll have some problem that I had. Now, just calm down over there. All right? Now, you're not to argue with the submitters. They're here giving their view. It's not for you to browbeat them, so just tie-ho. Right, now. So we've had about 8 lots of submissions. I think don't worry, Jules. We've had plenty of view thus far. And what I think we should do now is thank all of the submitters for coming along and for their views, which of course will form a part of the discussion that we have from this point in. We're also going to hear from the local board, 2 lots of local boards for 10 minutes. But what I propose is that, given the fact that, thank you for opening the windows there, whoever's opening windows, well done. So we'll have a bit of a break, give us a break for 5 minutes, a bit of a pit stop. For those who have come along in support of some or all of the submitters, you may care to get on with your day. Otherwise, if you're going to stay here, we'll just keep going straight after 5 minutes. Cheers.